We're back again to OSG's Napoleon's Last Gamble, the Quatre scenario. We've finished the 6 p.m. French turn, and a big event that happened then was they pulled off a victory. Had Riley on one side, all of this corps, the British 5th British Division, was positioned here. They had retreated from attempting to do the same thing earlier in their turn. So Riley positioned himself here. There was a set of these artillery units on their flank, and Ney went here, so combined with his force 6 to get the combined arms, and was successful before Riley's attack to push back the artillery, the coalition artillery, and then set up with Riley a surround situation. And then I don't remember the exact result, but the British 5th had to retreat, and therefore they weren't permanently eliminated, but they were eliminated awaiting recovery, which took a big hole in their line here at the end, and actually, in my mind, probably prevents them from winning. But we'll keep playing. So we'll move into the 6 p.m. coalition turn. I've already placed the reinforcement, which is, I think it's part of Uxbridge's cavalry corps. The first unit, it looks like the rest of them show up at 7, galloping down this road. Uxbridge is already on the board, so I've placed him there. So we've done that just to get this, and we can make this go away. One thing I did want to look at before we proceeded was the casualty track for the coalition here, and you see each, I don't know what I'd call it, corps, unit, division, has a disruption level, and when their losses hit that disruption level, then they have disruption effects, or demoralization. I apologize, that's the word here. And then they talk to you about how to do it. If you had a real game, you'd use the first counter from that unit on it to be the track marker. And as units are lost, then their full combat strength is applied to their marker over here, and if they exceed the demoralization level, then the effects come in. The effects are: 1 is subtracted from the initiative of all officers in combat units from their initiative rating. No effect on movement. Combat, can't advance after combat, and also cavalry can't charge. Wow. Okay. Demoralized units. Bombardment may retreat 1 hex upon receiving 1 R results. And the player, for a demoralized formation, when they're trying to recover them, there is a chance on a 5 or 6 they're permanently eliminated during the reorganization phase, normally at the night time. Okay. Let's see. So they can rally from demoralization. In other words, when they're reorganized, we may have that turn at the very end of the game. Then those are subtracted from their value there. And a combination of out of supply, they can't reorganize, can't rally till their supply line is reestablished. Now, not really important, well, kind of important, I guess. It does apply to 1 unit here. But if we look at what's been eliminated, the first ones to go at the beginning were the 2nd Netherlands. 6 and 4 is 10. 10 down to here, and their demoralization level is 5. So they're demoralized. So if they do try and reorganize, they'll have that 5 or 6 potential where they're permanently eliminated. No assurance they'll come back. And in addition, per the scenario booklet, 4 VPs. You get 4 virtual victory points for each formation demoralized. Then we see the British, 5th British here, 10 again, way past their demoralization. Makes sense. These 2 units are not even on the board anymore. But once again, to reorganize, the chance of a 5 or 6 permanently eliminated. And also the French get 4 victory points for this. So we already see 8 victory points. Now the last unit eliminated was part of the BW. Yep, come here, that's 4, so they're 1 away from being demoralized. So it doesn't apply to this guy. So if this artillery unit here is eliminated, then the BW will be demoralized. Again, from a gameplay point of view, those units aren't on the board anymore, but from a victory point, if they don't reorganize in the night, that's another 4 VPs. So basically, at least here we're looking for 8 VPs, and then I think it was 5 for this and 8 for this variable. Almost an insurmountable lead here, along with the fact that the coalition is stretched here on the board when we do our movement analysis. So again, I don't think the coalition can win. They're not really getting any big, they're getting a lot of cavalry here, and they are getting units of BW, which is teetering on the edge of demoralization. Let's see, we got the 3rd British, and then on the 9 p.m. turn, don't know how much you can do during a night term except for the reorganization here. So again, looking at this, it doesn't look too promising for the coalition. But we'll give it the best try we have here. So let's look at the sequence of play, which I had over here. Let's see, let's look at that. We'll look at the terrain effects chart later. There it is, SOP. So quickly here, no weather segment, no weather checked. I mean, that's normally checked at the beginning of the day. We've already done that. That's already gone. There's no recovery. And reorganization, there's nothing to reorganize. Okay? So we come down here, and it is the command segment. So let's take a look at French command situation here. I'll start here actually, because this is an interesting situation according to the TEC, the terrain effects chart. If we hide this unit, you'll see they're in a town or a village, whatever it's called. And if we look at the TEC for a town hex, defending infantry get a 1.5 multiplier, that's better. Artillery, there's a reduction in there because there's probably lots of cover. But then you read in here, units are not required to attack or disengage. 1031 disengages during night turns, so it doesn't apply here. But they're not required to attack. Now, from all I've seen, I've looked up 1031. There's no exception on what unit it applies to. And it doesn't mean they can also then move away like they could from an improved position or a chateau. Let's see if they've got that here. So just a little nuance I'm pointing out here about the rules. I'm missing a chateau. Units are not required to attack or disengage. No cavalry charge. No combined armed attack. Units may retreat into if occupied. I'll look, but I have a feeling chateaus in improved positions, they could actually pull out. But anyway, that doesn't apply here. So my interpretation here of the town hex is these units are pinned by being in ZOC, but they don't have to attack, which would have been a 1 to 2 attack. So they're pretty much stuck there. So am I worried about command? No. They're not going anywhere. They're just going to defend. So, sorry about the pinging there. Can't do much about it. So I'm not going to worry about their command. So let's pull this over to the side here. So, and Prince William's can only, I don't think any of these units are part of his. Yeah, he doesn't have a 2nd Netherlander Corps commander around, so he could only activate one of those units per the rules. The one combat unit you're allowed to activate. 1, 2, 3. Wellington could, but none of them are moving, so I'm not going to worry about that one. So the one that matters is Wellington here, and he's got the 1st British here, looks like, and he's got units of the 3rd British. And he's got Uxbridge for what it's worth. And if Uxbridge is in command, then he can activate him. There's the magic. And he's got a 4. So right out of the bat, he can activate all 3 of these units. If needed, he could have activated between him and Prince William. He could have activated 2 of these units. They're not going anywhere. And so that means all of these units are activated, all of these units are activated. This one is because it's entering. And here's the key one. No, Uxbridge can't activate him because he's not part of his command. And he's too far away from the commander. So this is the only unit that we have to roll initiative for. And this is the NC. I misspoke. Let's look at the casualty track again if I can find it. There we go. So this unit's part of the first NC. Okay, so they haven't lost any units, so that's fine. The Netherlands Cavalry. Okay. I don't know if I see them here. 4th British, 3rd British. Well, the bottom line is I don't see them. They're not part of the 2nd Netherlands. They're part of the 1st Netherlands Cavalry. So I was going to say if they were, they would have been demoralized and -1. But basically 1 to 3, they're in command. 4, 5, or 6. Or is it the other way around? I think it's 1 to 3. I'm mixing up my games here. Sorry about that. So let's roll. And 1, 2, or 3. No. Bummer. This was one of the things I was planning on doing, but now they're out of command. Demoralize, change label. I'll just use this technique to mark it. And that's too bad, because I was thinking of sending this one around on a sweep to threaten the French flank here, and now they can't do it. So now it's looking back at the sequence of play. After the command segment comes the movement. Yeah, I actually did this prematurely. I would have done this during the movement phase to see if it can move, but I'll keep that roll there to just say it can't. So I haven't given much thought to down here, but here's the big problem here. They're stuck. This cavalry unit can do all sorts of mayhem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the baggage train. I'm not using them, so this is worth some victory points. This is the road to Waterloo, actually. So the road would be open, at least off this map. So, like I said, this can't move. Now this unit, 1, 2, 3, 4, part of it can come down the road here and assume defending here, and then these can start shifting up. So their movement is 4. So they can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's that town effect again. So just thinking here. Yeah, so all we're worried about now is this cavalry sweeping here. If they didn't block this, then potentially, well, they can't move, but actually we could block the road here. Although 1, 2, and that would block the road completely. So it's tough. Too much to cover and not enough units. There's no way to protect this flank from this cavalry unit. But what we do need is seal off this front from these strong units. Moving down here, well, they're respectable. And then this unit, well, luckily there's woods, there's not much damage. This unit isn't moving, so that's good too. So let's do this. Somebody has to get over here. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unfortunately, I need to use Cook's 1st British to reinforce the 3rd British to try and hold off Ney and Riley. And, well, that's Kellerman of the cavalry, but still, these other units with him of the 2nd Corps are nothing to sneeze at. Quite the problem here. So I am going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe the best place for Uxbridge is with his cavalry. Let's see, I was thinking just to pull this guy up here and bring this guy down here. Yeah. And give them no opportunity to surround us. I think I've learned if you do a position where you got 2 units next to each other, if you attack the weaker unit, you can potentially surround them. That's what happened. So, and because the French are so strong, I'll worry about Wellington. Let's just do this. Move these units up here. So for now, at least, I'm in blocking here, but again, I can't do anything about this cavalry unit. This is not, there's no defense here, but I need a strong position, and this is a setup for a surround. I may have to spread him out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and the question is, where do I want Wellington? That's 1, 2. I may use Wellington to activate. This way I can ensure I can activate him, so I'll move Wellington here. Now the question is what to do with this unit. This is another one where you could potentially move him here and then attack him and cause problems. I learned that the hard way. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then I've got a gap here, and are they going to go through here? Yeah, let me see if this logic is right. Yeah, this guy could move here. They can bombard him, and then somebody can attack him, and then pin all this, where they can't do this if he's not adjacent. So I'll move him here. Just to screen over here, because this heavy cavalry is itching to go galloping all over the place. And these units can't move, and they're not going to attack. So let me go ahead and remove the movement. Well, let's leave them on for a second. Let's do this. They can't move. They're here, and they can't surround them. This is kind of a weak spot here if they could get here. But now with this unit moving away, they can't do a weak attack surround trick like they did last time, and this unit can't move. This is weak here, but hey, if they shift over this way, that's fine for me. Keep going because a lot of cavalry is going to be coming down the road here. So whether the coalition can win or not, I don't know, but this is an interesting exercise in how to clean up after a disaster. So I'll stop the move here. Let's make them full so we can see what they are. Yeah, this one's in the woods. This one's out in the open, unfortunately. And these two are too, and the cavalry is trying to get up here. So we'll see what the French do next turn. Go back to the sequence of play here. Wow, this is 17 minutes of this. Yep, no combat. By the same token, these units can't bombard. Oh, but there is a bombardment phase. Artillery reaction. No non-phasing player executes a bombardment. Counter battery fire. So subtract 1, subtract 1. Looks like they've got 2. Wow, that could really mess up their day here. So let's see. Is there anything here? Yeah, these units can't bombard. They're in zone of control. And we do have units here who can bombard these. So, and if they bombard the woods, it'll be detrimental. So these two will combine to bombard him. Could be ending the game a little faster in theory. I've got 2 there. 4, 5 total. I think that's how you do it. And then half of this goes down to subtracts 1, so it's 4 on the bombardment table. And if I'm doing this wrong, I'll check after I record this, but I think I am. So this is artillery reaction fire, and they've got 5 on the bombardment table. CBT loss. There we go. Wow, that's nothing to sneeze at. 3, 4, 5, or 6 gives us a result against this new unit. So let's roll the dice and see what happens. Ouch. Oh, it's a DR. Okay, just defender honor. On successful initiative attack may convert the DR to a 1 hour, reduce 1 combat. Defender may then apply DR to whole stack. Okay. Don't really see off the top of my head what the advantage of that is. Hold on. Okay, on further analysis, DR means they can retreat one, or they can do an initiative check and convert it to one unit losing a step, defend a bombarder choice, and then one of their 6-4s would drop down. At this point, though, I think just doing that should be okay. Keeps the line. So we'll just accept that as a retreat. And I think I used both artillery units. So, yep, that's the artillery reaction fire. Come back to the sequence of play. No attacks, no cavalry charge, nothing else. So this should be the end of the coalition phase. And this one may be going on a ride here around here. But hopefully Uxbridge can get his following cavalry online to do something about that. So at this point, yeah, thank you for listening. Again, any rules, questions, or misinterpretations, please let me know. Any strategy comments, things I'm doing obviously wrong. Obviously, I'm failing as a coalition, but I did learn don't put a weak unit next to a strong stack where they can potentially be surrounded. Interesting lesson there. So, yeah, we'll see what the French are up to from a victory point of view. Like I said, looks like they've got the win, but going to keep playing to test out the rules. So thanks for watching, and see you at the Coalition 6 p.m. turn.